Hello everybody, I'm Loboroda and welcome to the very first video of the Gacha Squad challenge. So I've been waiting to do this for a long time. I had this idea for a long time already, but I was waiting for a good banner to do it. As you know, I like doing different challenges and weird challenges. I did a Nuzlocke challenge and you can check that out with the link on top. I also do some random squad challenge where you can find links in the description below. And this time around, like I said, it's going to be a Gacha Squad challenge, and with Chapter 8 being out now, I figured it's the best way to combine both of them. So let's have a look what this actually means. So Gacha Squad challenge, what are the rules, what is the setup? First of all, I will do a 10 pull on a banner. In this scenario, the Rosmontes banner. And those 10 operators will be my squad. Second, all the duplicates in this banner that I pull in this 10 roll will just be empty positions. Since it's a 10 pull, I already have 2 empty positions, so every additional dupe is quite hurtsome. Third, I will play the very first stage of Chapter 8. It has a pretty high level and usually your roll is not that good, so this can already be quite interesting. And fourth, I quote-unquote win this challenge when I just finish the stage. I don't need to 3-star it, I don't need to go into a challenge one. I think just beating it will already be quite difficult. So let's see what my gacha pull actually was. While I was hopeful to get Rosmontes or Mudrock in my first pull, I didn't really expect it. But this tenor pull was something. I got Gravel, Brocca, Moose, Jackie, Acid Drop, Double Ansel, Double Orchid and Arini. Since I planned to do this challenge, I knew that this 10 pull was kind of important for me, and this squad is not looking that strong, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes. At the same time, I want to point out, a friend of mine is also playing this game and he got Rosmontes in his first 10 pull. And he got Whisper Rain in the 11th, so the next free pull. Hate you, but still happy for you. I hope I get her at one point as well. So let's check the stage I'm going to play the squad with. So the first stage in Chapter 8 is called Yesterday the Chaff Cracked. And there are only 2 enemies, and I'm very happy about this, but there are a lot of those too, so it's not to be taken lightly. The recommended level is Elite 2, level 10. As you can see, my squad is all Elite 1, level 1, so I'm hugely underleveled here. The map is relatively simple. You have those roadblocks that you can destroy to kind of separate a bit the enemies, which is something I probably won't do because I have only a couple of operators, so I need to be on a tight defense position if I want to manage to use that all. And yeah, as I said, there will be a lot of them. I already played the stage with my normal squad and it was pretty fun and relatively easy, but they are all very strong level. This squad is, yeah, not there. I'm very concerned about this. So let's just jump into my very first attempt and see if I get it done. The infected patrol captain can be annoying in later stages when you actually need to defend the civilians. When you play Chapter 8, you know that those stages will come, but luckily in the first stage they're not there yet, the civilians to protect. So I start off by throwing out Arini, because he's a very strong operator I think, and I hope that he will load up his skill fast enough to deal some damage. I throw out Gravel to take a bit of pressure away from him because I don't want 2 guys hitting at him at once. And then I wait for Brocca to get him out because 5-star I guess. As soon as the skill on Arini is done, I fire it off because he's already in quite some trouble. I think of taking Gravel now back to get the redeployment up, but I actually decided to let her in because there's a couple of enemies coming and I don't want Arini to take all. Brocca falls and I try to bring out Ansel to get some healing in. But unfortunately, only 3 stars. There's not much healing to be done there. And also it's a single target heal and I have pressure everywhere. So I throw out Jackie at the front and try to deal some damage, but it's not really working. So I try to take her away again to get me some DP back and try to orch it, maybe can do some damage, but Arini falls, Gravel falls, and the enemies are coming through left and right. I'm thinking if I can do anything with Acid Drop, but there's no real space next to the enemies to use. And then I just do whatever I can at that point, but this is already a lost game at that point. So in my second attempt, I figured I'd try Jackie a bit more. I switched her to her skill 2, where she doesn't attack but gets a high dodge chance and a counter, and figured maybe I can do something with this. So I wait until the first enemy's coming, I throw out Jackie, and I also bring out Ansel directly, because I figured I need healing faster from the beginning. She can only block once, so I throw out Gravel behind her, and her skill takes a time to load. She can do some damage, which is fine, not overwhelmingly, but it does the part. I also try to bring out Acid Drop and see if maybe some additional sniper support will do me any good. And then I activate the skill on Jackie and it's fine, I guess. Like, she doesn't need really much healing, but she's not doing that much damage as I want her to. I try bringing out Arini, but when he gets pressured from 2 enemies, he will fall. Acid Drop is not doing much for me. This is a lost fight. This strategy is not working at all. Ansel can't heal that much, so I need to figure out something else to work with. So I went back to a drawing board and thought, who will be my main person who can turn the tides? And I figured Moose, because her skill 1 can be very useful here, which reduces the ATK of the enemy for a couple of seconds. So I figured, why not put her at the center of my strategy? So I try bring out Moose and Arini behind her, which should lead to Moose does not need so much heal because she will decrease the ATK of the enemy, and also once she kills her enemies and will take care of the ones for Arini, maybe I can also decrease the damage there. And the start didn't really work out as I wanted to. They're all falling way too fast because I didn't have the timing right. I also let one through at the start, which is fine I guess, but I try bringing out Brocca here and do something with him, but it's also, everything is already at a pretty bad state here. But his skill is not bad, so I tried seeing how much damage I do, how much I can control, just for future reference. But as you can see, Moose is actually standing strong, so I'll probably focus more on her and try to work the tactic out with her as a core piece. I mean, no attempt was actually running that long as far as I can see. So the strategy has some sort of possibility to win, I would say. And I also checked a bit what is still coming, and there is a huge squad of enemy coming. So I need to figure out a way to deal with all of them without being overrun. So I did a couple of more attempts where I just tried to figure out the order of deployment and the skill activation. I don't want to show all of my attempts that I did. It was 3, 4, 5 attempts where I just tried to get especially the initial setting right, so I actually have something on the field, and got Arini's and Ansa's skill at a time where everyone will survive the initial onslaught of enemies. So let's jump into my best attempt. So this was my best attempt that I could do. I wait for my initial points and throw out Arini first. And as soon as I have enough points, or as soon as the enemy is getting closer, I throw out Gravel, which was my very first attempt strategy. And it seems that this was actually the best that I can do. Next up, I bring out Ansel to get the healing out, so Arini will stand longer. And when his skill is ready, I'll activate it. Then I take away Gravel and replace her with Moose. So I figured Moose really is a cornerstone for the strategy. Arini can get the initial onslaught under control with his skill, but afterwards I need someone to decrease the ATK of the enemy. This is the only thing I can do to actually get some survivability in. I throw out Gravel to slow down the enemy. Just blocking one is perfectly fine and Gravel can survive. And as soon as her skill runs out, I throw out Orchid and try to deal some more damage. And then I'll replace Gravel with Jackie. Next up, I think of what can I do with Acid Drop, maybe some top position, but Arini falls and I throw out Broca. And I couldn't figure out a strategy where I can keep him alive. It's just too much coming and there's not enough for me to block all of them. I once again try to block the front with Gravel, but also not much I can do here. Orchid tries desperately to get some hits in, but she's just not strong enough to deal anything here. And with the bigger wave of enemies coming, I know that I already lost this fight. So challenge failed, I guess. I can't finish this stage with this squad. I did a lot of tries, a lot of attempts. I just couldn't figure out a strategy where I could get everybody through, or not let everybody through, so I actually finished the stage. It's just too much damage, too many enemies coming. But I didn't want to leave it like that, because I actually got close, so that means I'm not far away from finishing it. So I'm bending the rules a bit and saying, let's take one more operator in, one more 4-star, because I do have 2 duplicates, so I'm missing 4 people in an already pretty under-leveled squad. I think it's fair. So welcome Deep Color. The idea is Deep Color is also Elite 1 level 1, so she's on par as anybody else. Could be an operator that I've pulled. And her summons will do a lot. At least I hope. Let's see how this works. So I stay with my initial strategy. First, Arini. He just can deal the initial onslaught that I need, and why not keep it. Gravel next, and Ansel afterwards, so I have to heal. When the skill is ready, I activate it, because I want to have the extra damage. Now I take away Gravel and throw out Moose to get the attack down. Next up, Jackie. Because I want to have one more damage dealer in the front, just taking care of one extra enemy. Next I throw out Deep Color at the top, which looks at a pretty weird position, but it's fine. Orchid at the bottom and one of the summons in front. This will take away the pressure of the others. The summon will not survive long and it's fine, it just needs to stall the enemy. Arini's skill is loaded again and he can deal some damage, which is great. Takes a lot of pressure away from the rest and they survive. Barely. Now the summon falls and I pull out a new one and activate the skill on Deep Color so that the summons get increased ATK and HP. One is getting through, so I throw out Gravel at the top to take care of him. Orchid's skill will help, and since Deep Color still has her skill active, she also deals some damage at the top, and I barely managed to kill the bear. Now Broca comes on the bottom row and looks down to block the enemies coming up. Arini activates his skill again, and Ansel's skill to get some healing out. Now I activate Broca's skill to deal as much damage as I could. One summon is falling and I throw out a new one. Activating the skill on Deep Color one more time and throw out Gravel to delay the enemies. 3 enemies are coming through, but I finished the stage. So in theory I lost this challenge. I didn't manage to do it with the original Gacha Squad that I pulled. But I'm still taking half a victory here, because I did it with nearly this squad. I added just one operator and everybody was hugely underleveled, which is always a tough one to do. But it was a really fun thing, and I think since I have to do probably more 10 pulls under Osmanthus banner, I'll try to stage with a couple of different squads that I'm going to pull, because it was a lot of fun, and once again I use operators that I usually don't bring in, because you have your 6 and 5 star standard squad while take the 4 3 stars. If you enjoyed this, be sure to follow me on Twitter and also subscribe to this channel to see new challenges that I do. Also, if you're interested in doing it yourself, feel free to do and tag me. Or if you want me to do your summon squad, send me a pic of your tenor pull and I'll try to do it. If I have the operators, and if I don't have them, I'll just either adapt or leave an empty space. I would be very curious to do this. And until then, I see you next time, doctors.